This program was made possible from the support of VSA Texas and AmeriGroup.
Rise up, AmeriGroup.
I'm Gene,
And I'm Dave.
and we're the
Gene and Dave Show.
Dave, did we have a good time at South by Southwest this year?
Oh
or
my
what?
God, the energy it just increases every year. You know, have you ever put a piece of tinfoil in the microwave?
No, not recently, no.
Well, I don't recommend it. Don't try it at home.
Okay.
But when you do, sparks fly everywhere. And
Wow.
that's as close as I can think of to being at South by Southwest.
And you know, this South by was a little bit different from previous years. This one, disability-related vendors, presenters, demonstrations, were all over the place.
It was everywhere. I mean, I think we started a trend or something. Because when we used to go to South by Southwest, there was like maybe one or two things. You know, we could show up one day and see one thing, and we'd covered all of the accessibility, disability-related stuff for the show. We'd go see one thing and roll around the trade show, and we'd be done. But man, this time, we actually had to split up.
We did. We did.
And go to separate shows because there was so much to see, so much that we wanted to record that we would have to, you would go one way and I'd go the other.
And let's start off with designing for disability, or redesigning for disability. This has got to be one of my favorite events. I met this woman, Kim, from California, who has no arms. I was talking to her before the event. I didn't even know she was involved with it. But I asked her if she knew what was going to happen there, and she said, oh yeah, it's about a make-a-thon. What they do is they get people with disabilities together, and they get rehab specialists, engineers, woodworkers, metal workers. They get them all together for 72 hours, and a person with a disability will say, this is what I need, and then the other people have 72 hours to make it.
And what's so great about it is it's like anything, you know, anything that you can think of. I think of stuff all the time that just would make my life easier, like if I'm in bed and I want to be able to open the blinds, or maybe even if I want to open a window. Sometimes just little things like that are so hard to do if you're in a wheelchair. I mean, first of all, you've got to make sure that there's not stuff in front of your window so that you can get to it.
Right.
And then if you can, do you have enough strength to reach up, unlock the window, and push it open, which for me is really hard to do. But something as simple as opening a window or opening a bag or just anything that you can think of, these people get together and say, what do you need? And you just say, I need this, and they sit around and conspire and figure out how to do it. This is
make
awesome.
it happen. And we've got a short clip here showing how this make-a-thon went.
At home, I don't have anything to like grab objects and then move them. Right now I'm doing that with my teeth. So when I heard about this weekend, I just thought, oh my God, this is what I have been like thinking about for years, which is getting people like myself, the need knowers, and sitting down with professionals, putting our ideas together and making things that will actually help people. Not just with the intent of helping people, but like really helping people. Oh, there we go!
You know, Dave, I was so impressed with this event, with these people, that I said, we've got to bring that to Austin. So just, put me on the list. I'll do whatever it takes. We got to get people together. We got to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, and it's doable, obviously, because they're doing it in California. Why can't we do it here in Austin? And it really reminded me of, the competitiveness and the competitions that we have. It started out as Air Austin, and now,
yeah.
Nobility's Air, what they do for website accessibility, we could do for stuff,
Yeah,
making stuff. So I'm glad you're going to make it happen, Gene.
Well, you're going to be with me there, buddy. Now, as we said earlier, this whole South by Southwest was really mainstreaming accessibility. We went to one event, talk about mainstreaming, and you and I have friends that are blind or visually impaired, and they go to a movie that they can't see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But our friends over at Pixar, over at Disney Movies Anywhere, one of the producers had a child with a visual impairment, and he wanted to make sure she was able to enjoy the movies. So from now on, all the Disney movies, Blu-rays, the theaters, you press a button on a remote, and they will audio describe what's happening. They'll tell you who's in the room, what they look like, what the tables are like. It's phenomenal. And we've got a little clip of these producers talking. You might enjoy this.
My name is Jonas Rivera. I'm a producer here.
And I'm Paul Saihockey, post-production here at Pixar. We're super excited to be part of this panel. We're sorry that we couldn't be there, but we're thrilled with the people that are here with us.
Yeah, it's a great group of folks, champions of accessibility. We're proud to be among them and proud to be part of this, even if it's on camera. It means a lot to us.
So we at Pixar are all about quality. And honestly, it was when you and I worked together back on Up that we sort of really started to focus on the audio description track that is released theatrically with films, and sort of learned things about it, and the fact that it wasn't on DVD back in the day, that sort of got us talking and wanting to do things differently.
Yeah, I actually learned things about it. I didn't even know. Up was the first film I produced, and Paul was the post supervisor on that film, and it was something I learned about in the early days of that picture because, to just zoom back out, my daughter, I became a father on that film, and my daughter Elsa was born, and she was born with ocular albinism and nystagmus, and my wife and I sort of shocked into this world of a potential visual problem with our daughter, sent us on this long emotional journey where we interface with many people here that we adore, and we were kind of getting used to the fact that we may have a daughter that has low vision or no vision. She's now 10 and has vision, but still it is impaired, and this set me off on this little bit of a personal bend. We were right after the news, in fact, in this room, right after we got that news, and we didn't know if, how severe our case was. We were sitting in this room at a screening of one of our films, and I sat in these seats, and everybody I work with, the directors, the art directors, the animators, everybody, when the screening was over and the lights came up, we always sit as we do and talk about what we saw. And everybody, I'd never heard this before through this lens of my life, was, did you see this? Did you notice that? Did you see the colors in this? Did you? And that's kind of when I had my breakdown a little bit, because I thought, oh my gosh, I may have a daughter that doesn't see what I do, what I contribute to here. And there was something really visceral, as probably many of you know, about that moment. When I heard about the audio description process, and when Paul Saka came, we dug in with great rigor on that. And to your point earlier, we're all about quality. Everything here is about story. So we had this thought, like, well, if that's part of our storytelling, we should wrap our arms around that and own it and make it as good as it can be, right?
Right.
I mean,
that narration track's important.
It is.
How can we better that?
So we committed to that, and we're proud of that. And it was just something personal, but also made sense in the world when we started doing focus groups. Because Paul got the great idea to bring people up where we do our post-production at Skywalker Ranch, and we brought members of the blind community, low vision community from a lot of great groups around here. And we just filled the room with people that could then watch the films with the dialogue and give us notes on the way it was written. Was it too preachy? Was it too over-descriptive? Is this what people that have no vision want to hear? How do they want to hear it? And we got to aggregate a lot of those notes sonically, how should it be mixed? Is there anything different? We just tried to, I don't do anything and everything we
Push
should.
that further to make it as good as it can be. And like you said, it was everything from the narrator's voice and the way that they were performing it to the actual dialogue that we were squeezing in between all the feature dialogue.
But there was that kid, there was one kid, I still picture her face, she was like a 14-year-old kid, and I think she was completely blind, I don't think she had any vision, and we were screening Wally, our film, to observe how that audience would react so that we could then inform what we've done up. And I'll never forget, she said, "Oh, Wally," she said, when we told her, she said, "I've seen this movie twice, I love this movie." And I just like fell in love with her, like, oh my gosh, like our job, this isn't just some exercise, it's something we have to make great because these people see these movies. Make no mistake. So I brought that back. We brought that back to the executives and John Lassler and Ed Catmull here. And so we want to champion this and do it right. And hopefully we've made progress there because we really do pay attention to it. It's important to us. And that journey, starting on up, at least for me, has led us through a lot of experiments and ways. And I think culminated in this partnership with DMA, right? Would you say?
Yeah. So
there's new movies anywhere. These are the folks that really have taken it to the next step.
Right. So what we're really here to talk to you a little bit about is a new feature on DMA, Disney Movies Anywhere. Partnering with the team at Disney, they've created an app that will sync the narration track in your phone, your iOS device, to the feature that's playing either in a movie theater or on your home television, whether it be a DVD, a Blu-ray, Netflix, Amazon, or off of the DMA app itself.
And the point of it, we hope, is that it's freeing and that allows everybody in the world, no matter what level of vision you have, to experience the films the way anyone with vision would. That's the hope, and that you can do that anywhere.
Right, exactly.
Do it here
in a funny way, right? And sort of accessibility anywhere is sort of our tag name for a feature.
So we're very proud that we're at least some small part of that, and we hope that it makes an impact. And we really wish we were there and not at Pixar, but we have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of movies going on, and we really want to thank you for this opportunity to speak about it. And we hope we continue to have opportunities to work on this.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
It's amazing, Gene, what they can do. And I know that audio description has been out for quite a while, and a lot of movies have it today. In fact, my friend that I met at the last SXSW, Tommy Edison, he's a movie critic, and he's a blind movie critic that critiques movies just based on what he listens to, and he critiques them. He's on YouTube. He's definitely a friend of the Gene and Dave show, so check him out. Look up Tommy Edison on YouTube and see what it's like to be a blind person that critiques movies.
Well, I'll definitely have to check him out, Dave. But it didn't end there. They had a gentleman from an organization called Be My Eyes. And what they do, they have volunteers from all over the world. And if you have a visual impairment, you're blind, you go on the internet, you access their program, and within 30 seconds, they will connect you with someone. Now, what you do then is you take your smartphone and you point it, let's say you're in your kitchen, you want to bake something. You point your phone at the ingredients you've got in your kitchen. The person at the other end of the line will describe to you, the flour's over on your left, the measuring spoons are on your right. And so this is way cool, too. If you want to go to your kid's baseball game and you're blind, they'll tell you, well, it's 2 men on base, the batter's up, and it's pop fly. They'll describe everything.
How did we exist without technology, Gene?
I'm beginning to wonder. It was just so amazing. So, Be My Eyes was another group we enjoyed. But wait, there's more.
No way.
Yes.
More still?
Our good friend Ed Gray from Avid. I know you're a computer nerd, so you've used Avid before. Let's say you're blind and you want to edit music. You go to avid.com, A-V-I-D, and from there you could download something called Pro Tools. Get it for free. Then you put that in your Apple in they have a voice option in the Apple.
Mm-hmm.
You put it in there, and it'll describe to you where the software, so that even if you're totally blind, you can edit your own music.
Wow.
And I think we have a little clip of Ed telling us about that.
He's going to tell us how to get it.
Hello, this is Ed Gray from Avid Technology, the people that bring you Pro Tools. And my email address is ed.gray, Gray, @avid.com.
And Ed, to get Pro Tools, we go to the Avid website.
Yes, you procure Pro Tools first, the free version of Pro Tools. You go to avid.com, you download it, and then if you want to use it with Mac VoiceOver, that's something that comes with the Mac OS. And so you go to System Preferences, select the Accessibility System Preferences, and within that you enable VoiceOver, and you should be cooking with gas.
Dave, there was another presenter there that actually I think we saw last year, but we really want to repeat this because this was pretty amazing. There's a woman who runs an organization called Vocal ID. Now, there's something called augmentative communication devices.
Yes, I think we have all heard them before.
Exactly. And if you're a little kid, you don't want to sound like that.
You don't want your voice to be like this. I would like a cookie, please.
Absolutely. So this woman that started this organization, Vocal Aid, what she does is she'll get little kids to read all these words, put them in a database, and then she'll have the child with a disability speak into a mic. Now, don't expect the child to be real fluent or easy to understand, but even if they're making grunting noises, it's their noise, it's their voice. So then what she does is she matches the sound of the child with this database of children that have already recorded a bunch of sounds, and she creates a new voice for the kid with the augmentative communication device.
Right.
And I think we've even got a clip of that.
We do. We've got another one that we've stolen.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you for letting us steal your clip, and just, it's awesome. What we saw at the South by Southwest trade show and talking to you was great, but this clip, oh man, it really says it all. Everything that Gene just said, so spoiler alert. But anyway, don't turn the TV yet. You've got to watch this clip because this is an amazing story.
Hi, Dr. Patel. My name is Erin Flack. I am 9 years old and I live in Needham, Massachusetts. My little sister Maeve, who is 8, has cerebral palsy and uses an echo speaking device. We call her Talker.
My name is Maeve. I am 8 years old.
Me, my mom, and my other sister Megan realized that Maeve's voice she has programmed in her Talker sounds nothing like the voice of an 8-year-old, but there are no voices programmed on the Talker that sound like one. We would love to get a new voice for Maeve, and I would love to be part of it. Thank you, Erin. I call shotgun!
So today we're driving to Vocal ID's headquarters. Erin is going to be using her voice to say a bunch of vocabulary words. Maeve will be providing sounds. A software program from Vocal ID is going to combine those words and create Maeve's unique voice.
I'm excited to meet Dr. Patel. It will be cool to hear a new voice for my device that sounds like me.
We're finally here! I'm going to go in, I think, like a sound booth studio and just say like a bunch of words and sentences that don't really make sense, and then use the sound that Maeve made. They're gonna mix it together to make a voice that sounds like hers. I think it's gonna sound like a lot more like a little kid.
Hi, how are you? Hi,
My name is Rupa Patel. I'm the founder of Vocal ID. Vocal ID is a company that builds personalized voices for people who use computerized voices to communicate. The voice is such an integral part of who you are. Having an individualized voice is something very important for someone who's going to use this voice as a way for others to get to know them. Today, we are going to get Erin to do some recording. And then we're also going to get you to make some sounds. And those recordings, then, we can use to make a voice for you. So what we're going to do is record you saying lots of different words, and then we're going to take that speech and chop it up into little bits so that she can say not only the words you recorded, but other words that you never recorded. That's the magic. Wow.
How are you? Good morning.
Say, 1, 2, 3. That was awesome. Okay, take a break, okay? Today is the big day. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Maid, in fact, is our first trailblazer who's going to get her voice this year. We've been anticipating this for like almost a full year. This is such a cool experience, not just see it, but be part of it.
I'm really excited because I think I'll really get to hear from her voice that sounds like Maeve. I think she's really excited for it, and I think she's gonna love it.
Oh, this is my voice.
What do you think about your voice?
I feel excited. I want to say hi to Taylor Swift with my new voice.
Gene, maybe we need to get you an augmentative communication device, and we could put my name on it. You were just saying a little bit ago how you wished your voice was like mine, so I could be the voice of Gene Rogers.
Well, you've got such a nice, deep voice, Dave, and it's easy for people to understand, but I'm always mumbling, and yeah, maybe I need voice lessons. I don't know.
There we go. Well, we'll see what we can do, but just amazing technology. Very amazing.
And if you want to see the video on YouTube, well, I mean, you can see it on our show, but if you want to see it on YouTube, it's called What Happens When You Give Your Sister a Voice. Now, we were running all over the convention center, the Marriott, the Long Center, and we happened to find some folks from Michigan State showing some, I guess you'd call it tactile feedback programs.
Yeah, yeah.
And you talked with them. What were they saying?
They have an amazing new tool that allows you to draw through this screen type feature. So the harder you press, the more vibrant the color gets. You can change the colors just by pressing harder or softer, moving your hand around. Just an amazing tool. The inventor of it has a daughter with autism, and he wanted to be able to help her color and draw, but her pressure and sensitivity of how she pushed using regular crayons just didn't really work for her. It didn't register. So he created this tool that hooks into the computer with this mesh top, very similar to that you would find on a trampoline. But the harder you pressed in on it, the deeper and richer the colors got. So take a look at this clip. We apologize for the sound. It's not that great, but just being able to watch it and see this amazing new tool developed at Michigan State is really cool.
Okay, so we're hanging out with Michigan State here at South by Southwest, and they have this awesome canvas stretched over with a backlit light, and she's coloring. You want to tell us more about what this technology is and what it's used for?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
So the technology is designed for children with autism, and it basically makes the experience of coloring into a more tactile, sensitive experience. So in particular, children with autism can often have issues with reading sensory stimuli, particularly tactile stimuli, and fine motor control. So the idea here is we essentially help them compensate for that. So the experience of pushing on the textile is very tactile. It gives you responsiveness in terms of the more you push, the more reaction you get in the textile. And then it gives you this visual update where, depending on the amount of pressure that's applied, you're coloring with a different color. You're using a different.
Then it looks like the backdrop there makes it so you can only color in the lines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Great. I need that.
You know, it's always about making everything a successful, positive experience.
Yeah, that's great.
Having the graphics as opposed to a big blank page, you know, just makes it more attractive. So you can see, even though the color is blue, depending on how much pressure she applies, it goes from blue to purple.
Okay.
So the idea is, you know, they can ask the child to do a certain task of try and focus on having a little bit more control in the amount of pressure that they're using by saying, okay, just color at the depth of orange, you know, which is only pushing a certain degree.
Yeah.
Color everything at the depth of yellow, which is pushing even harder. It's kind of the idea is generated from my research, which is in textiles, and the fact that I have a daughter who's 6 years old who has autism.
Yeah, I bet she loves this.
Yeah, and she has all of these issues.
Is she here today?
No,
darn. Michigan.
In Ann Arbor.
Okay.
So she has all these issues of limited fine motor control. She's very clumsy, so she has kind of low muscle tone. So she's often not using the right amount of pressure to do certain activities, pick things up, push things in. So the idea here is, you know, hopefully we can give her a tool which sort of learn this correlation between amount of movement and application of pressure.
That's awesome. That looks like a lot of fun.
So that was a really cool tool, and it was amazing. Once again, I apologize for the sound, but we had sound difficulties, didn't we, while we were at South by Southwest? On the trade room floor, we start to record Michigan State and realize that the batteries are dead.
Yeah, boy, what a bummer that is. One of us should have known better and brought extra batteries.
Yes, and you know how hard it is just to find batteries downtown during South by Southwest? First of all, just navigating is difficult because there's so many people. It is an amazing time, but a lot of times in a wheelchair, it's hard to get through some of the crowds.
And you went looking for me.
You went off to get batteries, and like an hour later, I was saying, "Where is Gene?" Because I couldn't find you anywhere. I figured you'd be back, and you know, as it is, there's a lot of people and a lot of things going on, so I couldn't find you, and I decided, why not record me trying to find you? So here we go. Let's all go together and try to find Gene on the trade show floor at the convention center.
Enjoy.
I just don't understand why at South by Southwest I never can find Gene. I mean, I know he's got to be around here somewhere. All these crowds of people. Have you seen Gene?
I don't know Gene.
Okay, thanks. Well, he hasn't seen him either. Wow, imagine that. Look who I found hanging out at the Nobility booth.
Okay.
I knew I'd find you.
You sure did.
And it's always at Nobility's booth.
Right you are, Dave. Every year, we look forward to seeing the folks at Nobility. And what they do is they make the web accessible for people with disabilities. They make it so you can enhance your web page. It's easier for people with low vision to see. They make it so that if a person's blind, they can use a screen reader to read all the code seamlessly. It's an amazing organization, and we know if one of us gets lost, meet up at Nobility.
Because we'll both eventually be there at some point in time. And they had they had new swag this year. I was so excited.
Yeah, they did.
I got a pin that writes in 4 different colors.
Wow.
And a couple new masks, superhero masks.
Yeah, those superheroes are access heroes, right?
They are. They're the access heroes.
Yeah,
so that you too can be a hero if your website is accessible.
Now, in addition to having a booth at South by Southwest, every year Nobility puts on the Dewey Awards. Mr. Dewey was the founder of South by Southwest and unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But every year, Nobility will present awards to people who use technology in a community service. So Dave and I go to that every year. Here's a picture of Sharon Rush. We're all looking at her, and of course there's some other folks, Dennis Burrell, and there's Jessica with her arm around me, and we had a great time there. And it's always good to see people who start something, and they're just making lives easier, and so we love the Dewey Awards.
That's right. Congratulations to not only the winners, but also the nominees. Because it's all of us, all of you, that are changing the world for the better.
Now, it doesn't end there, Dave.
More?
There's more. We went to South by Create over at the Long Center. Wow. That's where we met R2D2, Annabelle. We met all sorts of folks that are building things, making unique things for people in general, but specifically,
robots.
Yeah, robots. In fact, you interviewed R2D2.
I did. I got a chance to. It's probably, Gene, honestly, the highlight of South by Southwest for me was being able to meet R2D2. And I swear it was like he came right off of the movie screen and landed here in Austin, Texas. Check out this R2D2. He is awesome.
So here we are, South by Southwest 2016, and I found a friend of mine. This is R2D2, the droid. Hello, R2. So R2, can you tell me what you think about the accessibility here at South by Southwest? Okay, well, if my R2D2 droid speak is good, he says it's pretty good. He's been able to get around. Lots of ramps on the sidewalk. So thanks for being on the Gene and Dave show, R2.
What is your favorite TV show?
Oh, yeah, we want to know. What is your favorite TV show? I heard him. He just said the Dave and Gene show.
I didn't even notice the little thumbs up thing that he gave me when I was asking about accessibility, and he gave the thumbs up. That was very, very cool.
Yeah, now R2D2 seemed to do fine with the accessibility, but we found a few issues. For example, there was one program we went to. They had a nice ramp going up to this exhibition, but you get around the back there and there's a 3-inch lip to get inside. So that wasn't working for us. We saw another presentation with Zach Anner, who's a wheelchair user, and they didn't have a ramp for Zach, so somebody carried him up to sit him at the table there. But these, I mean, they get better every year. Every year, though, the access buttons at the convention center are covered up with tape and posters.
Yeah, and you can't even find them.
Right.
I'd like to make a shout out to folks. You know, if you're putting up posters, leave the access buttons open so that people can still use them, find them, be able to see that they're there. We know that they're there because we've been to the Austin Convention Center over and over again and love that facility. It is very accessible. We love to be able to push those buttons. But if they're covered up with your poster, can't find them.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. But other than that, the access was pretty good.
Yeah, and contrary to popular belief, we were still able to use the sidewalks. Yeah. Even though there were signs that told us not to drive here.
No motorized vehicles on the sidewalk.
But you know what? We did it anyway. I don't recommend breaking the law, but in this case, we did it.
I remember you and I went to get some free vodka, and I almost flipped over backwards.
You did. We were trying to get into the tents, and we were following the line of people where they were going, and it was up this huge hill. But the minute you almost flipped over, because you went back and your wheelie bars went into the grass, which was soft because it had been raining, it seemed to alert the attention of a few people. And before we knew it, there was this nice lady coming around the corner saying, "Please, let me show you in. Let me show you to the front of the line. What would you like to drink?"
Boy, that was sweet. What service?
It was. It was great. You almost had to break your neck again, but we got up to the front of the line and got us some Deep Eddy vodka. Well, what do we have to do to get those guys as sponsors?
Right. Hey, let's give them a call. I'll do that tomorrow.
It was good stuff. Thank you very much.
You know, it's easier to get vodka, free beer, and food than it is to get water at South by.
There was not water anywhere around.
But it was a good time. We had a great time. Let's see, we had there were other robots in addition to R2D2. We mentioned Annabelle, and Annabelle had something to say about body form. Let's see what she says.
Here's Annabelle.
Hi, Annabelle. My name's Dave from the Gene and Dave Show.
The starring actress for God Park, a nonprofit theater arts organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
Well, with my hearing today, I'm somewhat lobotomizing here in Austin because, well, I'm here in Austin. We're named differently, but some are limited by their physical form.
Yeah, story of our lives, right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Annabelle.
All right, so here's Annabelle. She's on the Gene and Dave Show. Pretty dress, Annabelle. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
That's Annabelle.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Not as cool as R2D2.
What was missed, though, in that clip is I wish the cameraman that we had would have panned down, because the bottom portion of Annabelle, her legs, well, she didn't really have legs. It was actually a motorized wheelchair. The whole bottom portion, I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not
but
notice
the whole bottom was a Permobile wheelchair with a mannequin torso sitting on top of it. So that's how Annabelle was getting around. And I don't know who was controlling her, but she ran into me like 6 times trying to talk to me. I guess she didn't see my wheelchair, or she was just really friendly with my wheelchair.
She was coming on to you, Dave.
Maybe.
I think that's what it
Could
was.
be. Good old Annabelle.
Yeah. But I ran found a huge robot down there, and I had a camera mounted to my wheelchair. There was a professional cameraman, saw me raise my chair so I could get a better view with this camera, and he gave me the thumbs up. And so we do a lot of our own filming. We have a good time. And you were, we were there for Interactive Week.
Absolutely.
And you were on a mat by Lumo Watch, I think, Lumo Interactive, with the fish. And you're rolling around on all these fish.
Uh-huh.
And
they were dodging my wheels, trying not to get run over.
I'm thinking a cat would go nuts for something like that.
Yeah, and it was the closest thing I'd ever been to walking on water.
So there's all kinds of interactive stuff there, folks, and almost sensory overload. But we definitely had a good time. Now, speaking of overload, our buddy AJ was telling us about something called EpiWatch. Now, for people that have seizures, you can wear this watch, and when you feel like you're going to start to have a seizure, you press a button, it'll download all this information to the watch.
It's actually an Apple Watch. It's a simple Apple Watch with the EpiWatch application on it, with the app on it, that uses all the new health technologies that are embedded into the Apple Watch. They're really taking on all the capabilities of the Apple Watch that watches your blood pressure and your health and everything about you, but they've really streamlined it for people that suffer from seizures, and they built an app for those people. But you know what, Gene? Let's just watch the clip.
Let's do.
So what you have here is the seizure tracking, so you can see a history of the seizures. I have a few seizures I've tracked already in my history, and then one that just recently was tracked. You can see I have two of them today, and and then I still have to log what type of seizure it was, so I can do that, and it asks me information about the seizure itself. And then the other thing I would show is your medication tracking. So here we can set up medications and follow the medications that you take every day, whether you take them or not. If you didn't take them, it would be considered part of the data you need to know about your study. And then I can show, if you'd like, the watch.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to come at it from the top because it'll time out. So here I have the custom complication. Track that. I can track a seizure. And then it does a countdown. It's assuming at this point you're actually having a seizure. And now I have a strong haptic vibration on my wrist. This is asking if I'm alert, and it will just repeat until I actually return from my seizure. And now it's assessing my cognitive skill to see how much I've returned from the seizure event, and I have to try to remember the pattern. And now it's gathering heart rate data for 10 minutes.
Cool stuff.
You know, Dave, we had a lot of firsts on the Gene and Dave show. Now we've got our first stalker.
Yeah.
Brittany. Brittany has a website called Able Thrive. Her father was spinal cord injured, and they had to learn from scratch what they could do to help him out, how to do things. And Brittany decided, hey, why don't we share this information with other people around the world? And so they set up a web page with videos from other folks that with spinal cord injuries, showing how they do stuff.
Yeah, and she was at South by Southwest too, trying to find out anything that was disability related. So I think everything that we went to, she was there. It seemed like we were stalking her, she was stalking us, but Brittany's awesome. She's really cool, and we appreciate her meeting with us. And every time we saw her, she would talk about what she learned and compared it to what we learned. I wish we could have her on the show, but lives too far away. But
yeah, she's in Pennsylvania.
You can check out her website that she created, Able Thrive, and please tell them that you saw it on the Gene and Dave show, and enter in your own information, your own experiences, because it's definitely a community-based thing for people with disabilities to share your story and get it out there. Great website. Check it out.
So we're here at MedTech Expo at the JW Marriott, and Brittany tracked us down. Brittany, it's such a pleasure to see you. Tell us about Able Thrive. We understand you have a personal connection to that, and you've got a great website.
Well, thanks. My dad was paralyzed in a car accident when I was 12, and it's tough, but we were extremely lucky because we were connected to a really great spinal cord injury hospital, which gave us access to support, mentors, and an idea very early that my dad was going to be able to live a happy and fulfilling life. And that was normal then. My dad went on to now lives independently. He's an engineer. He drives, does a lot of things that people don't realize people can do with a disability. And it was not until I was in college that I realized that we were the minority of people in our situation and that many people still aren't aware that that's possible. But I also realized that we weren't a special case and that it should be easier for people to find that information. And I didn't like the idea that my entire existence and the way my whole family's life would be determined by luck. So we wanted to remove the luck from the equation for living well with a disability. So started ablethrive.com, and we launched about 7 months ago, and we curate articles and videos about living well with a disability from a network of blogs, organizations, companies, and hospitals to make sure that the good work and information that they're sharing benefits everyone who could benefit from it, not just those already in their local network or their, online network.
And if people have videos they think would be helpful to the spinal cord injured population, they can contact you to share a video, and you could possibly put that on your site.
And then if it's just an individual who maybe has a story that was impactful or wanted to share or is willing to share, then we have a content team that'll take people's experiences or videos, and then we can turn them into a post.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brittany. Now, as you said, there were times it seemed like we were stalking Brittany, Brittany was stalking us. Well, I caught up with Brittany when she was talking with a gentleman named Ian. Now, Ian broke his neck when he went diving into shallow water. He's now a high-level quadriplegic, but he's working with some folks that are trying to help him use what muscles he has. They put something in his head connected to his brain so he could just think about opening his hand, and he's got this device on his hand. It'll cause the muscles to open, to close. Yeah, it's like Star Trek. So we wanted to give a shout out to Ian. Thanks, Ian, for talking with us. And I asked him what his favorite show is.
And what did he tell you?
Well, let's take a look. What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show is the Dean and James show.
Mine too.
Yeah, everyone has the same answer. Yeah, I like the Gene and Dave show. Then we went to yet another program.
Still another. What a packed South by Southwest this year.
It's called Tech Inclusion, and they were talking about getting people with disabilities included in the workforce. And one of the gentlemen there, Steve Gungarik, is the co-founder of Nobility and the first board chairman. Now, Steve was chatting with us about including more people with disabilities in the workforce.
And then workforce. So we have a program called AccessWorks that allows companies, large and small, to put their software or websites to test so that they can be made better simply through being more universally designed. And it's also a marketplace for men and women to apply if they have some form of disability that want to be employed and be testers. And so you can apply and become a tester and get paid doing that work, making corporate websites better. So that's among the things that we're trying to do for the benefit of all of us.
But we also talked to him about helping us out with a maker fair. And Steve was pretty enthusiastic about it.
He was, which sounds great.
Yeah. So we'll get him involved, and you can look for our maker fair. I don't know when, but we really want to get people involved in this. And right now we're waiting for Tikkun Olam Makers, or TOM for short, out of Israel, to give us the green light on getting started on this. But it's going to be such an exciting program.
And a special big thanks to the people at South by Southwest, who graciously welcome us every year as press, so that we can come in and film and bring to you this show. It definitely wouldn't be possible without them letting us in and letting us come with our cameras. We have to get through and do a lot of credentials and things to be able to film. We really appreciate the support of all the South by Southwest media staff who help us get started, get in the door, and be able to film things that we can bring to you if you can't attend South by Southwest.
Yeah, Dave, this is for people all over the world. Austin is the epicenter for interactive and digital new media and devices and such. So whereas it used to be we would have to look for something that would be helpful for people with disabilities, it's all over the place now.
Yeah, an amazing event for everyone involved. Everything from when mostly we've just talked about what we saw at Interactive. But there is a whole other piece, the film, the music, simply amazing that we didn't even get to touch on because we were so busy with Interactive. But there were even films that featured people with disabilities. There's music that have disabled artists with them.
I seem to recall you were in a movie last year.
That's right.
At
Yeah,
South by
I was.
Southwest.
And this year, another buddy of mine that uses a chair is in a show that's coming on HBO soon. And it premiered at South by Southwest. So just fantastic stuff going on. I definitely recommend, if you have never been to a South by Southwest, that you get here, that you go. If you're in Austin, get yourself some tickets. Or even volunteer. You can volunteer to help out and be able to earn badges if you can't afford them. So definitely South by Southwest people work with you. It's a great program.
So people can come up to the volunteers and say, "Where's Gene?"
Yeah.
And
yeah, just like I did.
Just like you
But
did.
you might get the same answer I did. Oh, I don't know, Gene.
You know, Dave, whenever you go to South by Southwest, you can get plenty of swag. That's stuff we all get. Well, this year they were giving out these 3D glasses.
Is this what you brought for me that you set in front of me here?
This is for you, buddy.
Okay, let's see.
So what you do is you open up these glasses and you stick your phone in it. You connect to this website, and you can see all this 3D stuff. Now, if you folks have ever used an Oculus or other 3D type hardware, you know it's really awesome. But they're giving out free 3D glasses. So it'll really blow your mind. And there's some people with certain types of disabilities that can appreciate that, being able to travel with this thing.
Whoa! Gee!
Pretty cool, huh,
I didn't
Dave?
know there was pictures of you out there like this.
Woo. We're going to have to edit that one, Dave.
I got to put that down. I don't want to look at that anymore. Ooh. Man, that is something in 3D.
It really is.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll see you next year at South by Southwest, and this year on the Gene and Dave Show at www.thegeneanddaveshow.com and Austin Public, Channel 16.
That's right. Special shout out and thank you to Austin Public.
To Doug and all the crew.
Yeah, the media of Austin is definitely here. We really appreciate all their help in being able to film and come and work in a studio.
That's right. If people want to send donations to the Gene and Dave Show, so we can keep filming, well, go to our webpage and you'll find a little thing to click on there in the corner.
Keep us rolling in the upper right-hand corner. Definitely help keep us rolling, and we love to hear from you too. Whether it's out in the street, I bumped into several people that ask me, "Are you Gene?" And I usually say, "No,
Ask me,
I'm
are you
Dave."
Dave?
That's right, but it's really awesome to be able to meet people out on the street that have seen the show. We love to hear your feedback. Love to hear what you liked. We even love to hear what you didn't like, so that we can make this show better.
Exactly.
It's, after all, it is for you, because you're watching it right now, and we want to make the show the best that we can, and keep you entertained. So if you have anything, any ideas, please feel free to email Gene at thegeneanddaveshow.com or Dave at thegeneanddaveshow.com. We do read our emails, and quite often we respond and reply. And if you've got a great idea and even want to come on the show, we've had people on the show before.
That's right.
So please email us and let us know what you think.
Until next show, folks, so long.
Bye now.
Couch.